the right customer interview will actually help you figure out the functional, emotional, and social motivations for using a product or service. So, hello, Katrina. I think you're
Hello.
still muted. Hello, how are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So, Katrina, thank you for wanting to join. Give us a little bit of background about you before we jump into doing a jobs to be done interview.
I'm a UX designer for mobile apps primarily, and
Okay.
I'm very excited because I'm usually are on the other side of the interview, so
Very good.
I'm curious.
Awesome, awesome. So you said you bought a product in the last 3 months and you spent more than $100 on it.
Yeah, quarantine, Corona time, splurge.
You know, that's what's happening. People are actually spending money because they're stuck at home, correct?
Yep, a way to help your psyche a bit.
Oh man, I could talk to you so much about that because it's funny. The first 3 weeks of the COVID-19 and people being stuck at home, we saw a drop in sales. But I think after a little while, there's this pent up demand and people are like, okay, what am I doing over here? So they went on a shopping spree. Everybody was buying, but now we're starting sort of like people are like, okay, we need to be careful a bit more with our
Yeah.
stuff. But let's jump in. So what did you buy?
I bought myself a cooking machine
Okay.
for yeah, the one that is like stand mixer and yeah, stuff like this.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice.
Because I cook a lot at home.
Very nice. Okay. Excellent. This is actually, and how much did you spend on it, by the way?
200.
200. Okay. Perfect. So let's say I'm the VP of marketing for that cooking machine. And basically what I would do is I would actually pull the customers that had bought the product, our product in the last 3 months. So that's the reason I asked. So usually we like to interview people who have done, who have done, who have purchased anywhere between a month to 3 months. Less than a month, people are still in the what we call the honeymoon period. They are still happy with their product. More than 3 months, they've forgotten basically the the motivation behind buying the product. We send them an email. We usually get lots of responses, and we pick every week. Again, we're doing 3-4 of those interviews, and we're talking through the process of people. So I'm going to actually walk you through the process, assuming that you're one of those people. So Katerina, am I pronouncing your name correctly, by the way? I'm like sometimes
Yeah, it's
okay.
pretty close.
Okay, good. So thank you for participating in this initial customer research that we're doing. So this is an initial research that's going to be part of a much larger research that we're going to be conducting few months down the line around how people buy cooking machines. So as part of this initial research, what we're trying to do is just to understand your story. What made you buy the cooking machine? And again, it's your story. There's no right or wrong answers. All we want to know is what happened to you in order for you to say, you know what, it's time to buy the machine. The best way to think about it is almost if I'm shooting a documentary. So I'm the director, I have a cameraman with me, and we're creating this documentary around your purchase process for this product. So we're going to be asking you a few questions around this. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds great.
Excellent, excellent. So tell us a little bit more. When did you decide to buy the cooking machine? Do you remember what day was it?
I think it was a bit more than a month ago, but I've been thinking about this for quite a while because I really like baking,
Okay.
and some of the recipes are not so easy to mix, like using just like hand on a fork. But then I was like always thinking, I'm not a professional cook. That still costs quite a lot, and like how many times per month I'm gonna use it. So it's been on my mind for quite a while.
Okay.
But yeah, after 1 month in Corona time, I said, like, okay, I cook every day and I bake a lot, so that's about the time.
Okay. So I'm going to stop the interview over here and I'm just going to comment. What you have just given me, by the way, in the last 30 seconds, it is a gold mine for marketers. And let's drill a bit deeper and I will continue with this. But imagine I want to write copy, correct? And I'm creating an ad for this cooking machine. What did you say? And lots of times people hire, people who specialize in creating web copy, I always tell them, give them those customer research insights, because there is so much that you said. Bacon is not easy, correct? I'm not a professional. Now I'm cooking every day. You've right away given me lots of motivations, correct? And guess, imagine those very powerful headlines that I can use, correct? Cooking every day, you know, and you don't have to be a professional. Create amazing pies without, like, you know, having to worry about, like, you know, being a professional. There is just so much that you have used in your own words. So Katerina, let's go back to the day that you made the decision, and then we'll go back to how you start thinking about this. Do you recall what day of the week was it? Was it a weekend, a weekday?
I actually think it was Friday. It was end of the week, and I was pretty excited because I wanted to find something that would be delivered by Saturday. Almost
Oh, wow.
impossible. So I could make a pie recipe.
Okay. What kind of pie was it?
It was pecan pie.
Okay, pecan pie. Okay, I like that. And you think it was Saturday morning or nighttime? If you're wanting it to be received on Saturday, so what was it? When did you order? Was it Friday morning, Friday afternoon?
I was Friday around 4. Like I was almost done with my work, and I thought, okay, if I order now, I still can get it by tomorrow. So that's why.
Oh, wow. Okay, okay. Were you at home at that point in time?
Yep.
Okay. And where were you sitting, by the way?
Actually, I'm sitting in the kitchen because I have a living room connected with the kitchen.
Okay, okay. How was the weather that day, by the way?
Um, I can't recall. I think it was quite okay.
Quite okay, like sunny,
Yeah.
cloudy. Do you recall? Or cold, warm?
Can't recall this, unfortunately. Yeah, I think
Okay,
it was standard weather, not something extraordinary, not raining super heavily or not super warm and sunny, something
okay.
normal.
Very good. Um, Now, let's go back to the very first time you thought about buying this machine. Do you recall, when did you, like, you know, first think, oh, I'd like to get me one of those cooking machines?
Yeah, because I'm watching some cooking shows and some cooking masterclass because I really enjoy it. And
Okay.
often they use the professional machines, although they always say, yeah, of course you can do it at home with your like hand mixer or something else, but it never comes out as perfect as they have in the machine. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
perfect. So I'm going to stop you again over here, and I'm just going to comment about some of the things that you've told me. If I'm doing marketing, correct? Cooking shows, cooking masterclass. Guess what? Cooking shows. Okay, I can figure out a way to do a partnership with them. But even better, cooking masterclass, because lots of times people say, okay, well, cooking shows, that's an area where everybody competes. But how about cooking masterclasses? Correct. If I'm doing any Facebook advertising, those are the people I want to target, correct? I can probably have a deal for, like, you know, for example, let's say I go to masterclass and I try and do something there. And another thing that I focus on in my ads and on my landing page, what I would say is taking a, you know, cooking masterclass, trying to cook pies, but they never turn out to be good because your hand mixer is not working well for you, correct? Look at this. This is your words, correct? We're
yeah.
using them in marketing again. And we're still drilling a bit deeper. So how long you've been taking those? How long you've been actually taking the masterclass? Tell me a little bit more about that.
I just subscribe. Like I usually do it as a one-time thing. I never went to some like in-depth course or
Okay.
something like this. So
Okay.
something on YouTube pops up, or like recently I got the class from like a
Masterclass.
masterclass platform, and you can watch some masterclasses there.
Perfect. Perfect. So was that the first time you thought about getting the mixer, the cooking machine, or did you think
No,
about it
the
before?
first one was the cooking shows because I've been watching them forever. I always enjoyed it,
Okay.
especially yeah when people that are coming from no background competing and trying to learn new recipes, and that's very exciting for me.
Perfect. When did you sign up for the masterclass, by the way?
Beginning of the corona, because I get a lot of
Okay.
promotions on YouTube, and I shared with a friend who was also interested in a masterclass from one of the
Okay.
speakers, and yeah.
Yeah, because they also had this offer, correct? The get one subscription, you get the other
Yeah,
free. There you
exactly.
go. Okay, so you do the master class. Which class were you taking, by the way, for the cooking? Do you recall?
There's from Gordon Ramsay. I took just
Okay,
one.
Okay, from Gordon Ramsay. Okay, I like that. Now, initially, I'm assuming like he's using his they have their like fancy mixers. Did you
Yeah.
try like what actually prompted you to say, you know what, it's not turning out to be as good when I'm using my hand mixer?
I mean, it's takes way, like I was doing some pizza dough, and it
Okay,
takes quite a lot of time, and I'll also like strength in the hands to mix
okay,
it in a proper way.
okay,
And yeah, that was the feeling, that it took me really long, and it turned out like, nah, okay-ish.
okay. So you do the pizza dough. Are you sharing the pizza with anybody, or are you just eating it by yourself?
Of course, I'm sharing. I had, yeah, my husband was eating most of it.
Okay. Well, what did he tell you after you made it?
Uh, of course, he said it's delicious because he ate it hot out of the oven.
Okay. But you give it to him. It took a while. It didn't turn out to be as good. He's saying it's delicious. What are you thinking?
I always say things like this, but I'm a perfectionist, so I like, nah, it doesn't look exactly like I expected it to look like, and yeah. So I
Okay.
know that he's saying things mainly because he's less picky, and also he loves me. So whatever can you say?
Mhm. Now, when we talked about, if you recall in my slide, I talked about the emotional and the social aspects of buying product. What you just told me is the emotional side, correct? The husband who loves your food no matter what, correct?
Yeah.
But you inside also, so that there's kind of like multiple things. You're a perfectionist, correct? And again, imagine me running marketing for that company. An image of a wife cooking something for her husband or her significant other, correct? And thinking that this is not as good. Uh, there's just so much emotion that now is starting to get revealed. So you cook the pizza. What kind of pizza, by the way, did you make?
It was Chicago style
Oh,
mozzarella. Yeah,
oh,
it has like
okay,
special dough that it sit in the fridge for like a day.
okay. So it's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So you're making this Chicago style. Do you recall? Did you make it on a weekend? Well, you said on a Saturday. Did you make it that's right away, or how
I know,
was it?
actually, the pizza actually cooked without the machine. I cooked it on my own, and I think it
I
was a
see.
weekend.
Okay, so you did it on the weekend. Your husband tries it. Um, was it right away after that you went into like, what, I need to start looking for different machines, or how did that process happen after?
I think we discussed it for a week with my
Okay,
husband, like if we really need it or not, if I cook it, if I'm gonna use it after quarantine, because it's also a big machine and it takes space on the countertop. So there were a lot of discussions, and then I think I need some process to actually buy it.
so explain that to me again. Sorry, can you tell me a bit more around that?
So I cooked it on weekend, and
Oh,
then I said like, oh, see, like I cook a lot, I bake a lot, and like this dough, it was quite complicated. It took a while. It didn't turn out as perfect as I would want it to come out, and maybe we should discuss buying the machine, and then we discussed it maybe like on Tuesday again, and then we looked again on Friday evening, and then we made the decision to buy it.
perfect. I love that. One of the things that you mentioned that you were concerned about is the space and I know when I like now, like, because we're actually constantly buying kitchen equipment, it seems everybody everybody is correct. I'm in the process of buying an air fryer or a deep fryer. We're going through
Mhm.
that debate right now. You're concerned about the space, the countertops. Is there enough space? What other concerns did you have?
I mean, my main concern was that I buy something and it sits in the cupboard forever, and then I'm not actually using it, because I don't really like to drag along things that are not in
Okay.
use, and then I would just sell it on some secondhand website like eBay Kleinanzeigen and something like that. So I
Okay.
didn't want to invest in something that I really won't use in the end. It
So
sounds like a
how,
loss.
yeah, how did you solve that issue? Because that's always a concern, correct? Like, oh, I'm buying something, I'm excited about it, but maybe I'm not going to use it. So what did you and your husband walk me through that discussion with your husband? What did you have?
I mean, we said that I always wanted it. I've been thinking for quite a while, and then we bought not the highest configuration, so we bought the basic one that I really
Okay.
needed. Is like the dough hook and
Okay.
the thing like the whisk and the smoothie maker. So we,
Okay.
we bought only the parts that I really wanted, because you know how the configurations work.
Yeah.
You pay extra 50 and then you have extra 10 supplements, and then you
Okay.
pay 50 more, but then you get 20, and you think, oh, but this is a really good deal. And a lot of times
Yep.
people would jump on this best option price versus amount of like supplements, but in the end you use only 3. So what is the reason? So we kind of downsized, and that was the deal for me, that we downsized to the essentials.
Perfect. Perfect. I like that. So I'm going to stop the interview over here and I'm going to comment as well. A headline again that I would use for this particular, you know, you always wanted it, correct? Because that's what you said. I
Yeah.
always wanted it. Imagine a headline that says, you know, you always wanted it, you know? And if you think about this, whenever we buy a product, subscription, by the way, Masterclass could have been also another subscription, correct? That you got, or we could be doing this interview about Masterclass. But like now we're talking about this product. There is an initial criteria that you put for yourself. I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correct? But then when you're about to make the decision, there's a negotiation. Sometimes it happens with you and yourself, sometimes with your significant other, in this case with your husband. And it's about this give and take. You know, what do we need to consider? And I like how you said, you know what, we're not going to go with all the options because it becomes really expensive. There's another negotiation about this space. There's lots of the criteria, and you might start with 5, 6 things that are important to you, but then you narrow them down because I really want to have this. Well, I'm not going to go for the most expensive all features. I'm going to go for the basic things that I actually know that I need to use. So again, if you're a marketer, there is a wealth of information that you use there. Lots of times we focus on lots of product features that are really meaningless to customers. We think that people care about them. People tell us that they care about them, but really, in reality, people don't care a whole lot about some of those. Okay, so you decide that you're gonna buy the product. Now, are you doing initial research? You said like when you start thinking about it, Tuesday, by Friday you make a decision. Talk to me about the research that you've done to really
I
select the right
mean,
product.
there are not so many big players. There's like KitchenAid player, and then there's one from Bosch. So I just looked through some websites. I visited website from each brand. Some of them I go more like they're more stylish than functional, and then you clearly pay like extra for the look of it.
Okay.
And some of them are cheaper, but then a lot of people write, oh, it's like the parts fell apart basically after half a year. So like I definitely did the research before I bought something that is like more expensive than
I like
30
that.
years or
So
something.
tell me a little bit more, what size did you use for the research? Any particular size, or were you just Googling different names? How did that work? Walk me through the process of research.
So basically I Googled the term Küchenmaschine, like
Okay.
cooking machine, KitchenAid, and then like the first results were from 3 brands, and then I looked into their price points and what they offer for a particular price, because I also didn't want to get a cooking machine for 1,000 or like for
Okay.
500. This is way too much. So I was trying to downsize in that one. So I just framed the amount of money and then the functions, and then compared what can I get for the money that I'm ready to spend.
Very good. Very nice. So typically in an interview, and I don't want to like, drill a bit deeper on this, but typically in an interview, we start asking about, okay, what's the criteria? And we would ask somebody, hey, have you written it down? By the way, can you email it to us? Because this is extremely powerful. It's like kind of a gold mine. But notice how you made the decision as well. I would also ask you, do you know what size besides the brand websites that you've looked at? Did you look at YouTube as well? Did you see any reviews? Because,
Okay.
again, this helps me understand the buying decision. By Friday, you've decided. Did you have a model selected at that point, or were 2 competing models?
Yeah, there was one that was again a bit more expensive but had more extra features, and then I
Okay.
was like, is it really worth it?
Uh-huh.
And then we decided not to go for it because the price was really just too much of a difference for a minor feature.
Okay, very nice. Again, by the way, so powerful, correct? If you're a marketer and you're writing copy, guess what? No need to pay extra for features that you will never use. Again, you're just giving a wealth of information. Where did you buy the product from?
Amazon.
Amazon, of course. Amazon always
I
gets.
wanted it by Saturday. That's why I had no other choice.
But it's amazing. Did you also? I'm sure Amazon reviews were part of the process
Yeah.
in making the decision. Correct?
Yeah.
Were there other review sites, other e-commerce sites that you read reviews about the products on, or
Not
no? It
really. I
was
just visited like in the end, I bought a Bosch one.
okay.
So I visited their website because they also had a lot of videos about how to use the product and all the features. And like they even have some comparison, like you can pick up different machines and compare them because Bosch was the last one that I decided to go for. And then I needed to decide between two models. Then I looked at their website as well.
Very nice. So you order the item on Saturday, it arrives, sorry, on Friday, it arrives Saturday. Is that
Yeah.
correct? Okay,
Yeah.
very nice. When did it arrive? Sometimes Amazon delivers in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon.
No,
Do you
I was in
recall?
the evening, so I wasn't actually able to cook anything on Saturday, but I did on Sunday, so it was fine for me.
What did you cook? What was that first?
There was a pie.
Oh, it was a pie. What kind of pie? That's the pecan pie or
Yeah,
different?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay. And how did it turn out?
Great, actually.
Well, no, tell me a little bit more. So this is the first pie with the machine. Tell me how, like your husband is
Um,
trying it, and you're a perfectionist. So walk me through that.
I mean, the best part for me was that I could do things simultaneously. So I would start to do the dough in the machine, and then I would start to cutting the pecans, and then like to wash them and prepare them and then as the dough is done, I can put the cream in. So it's
Very
quite
nice.
fast. It's really speeding me up. And the structure, of course, is perfect. It's like easy to roll it out because it's very smooth and even.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the interview over here, and I'm just gonna give you just a few things to think about. Lots of the customer research, if you think about this, focuses on, well, if you're an e-commerce website, so how is it using our website? How is it ordering eh, the product? If you notice, I didn't ask you any of those questions, correct?
Mhm.
What I focused on is your journey prior to making the decision to buy. What was that trigger, correct? Well, I've been watching lots of cooking shows, so that's kind of like, it's always been in the back of your head. But then you taking the master class was kind of that trigger event where you said, okay, no, I really need, and then you trying to make that Chicago style pizza that didn't turn out all too good. And then you have this mix of emotional and social aspects to you making a decision. You hired that mixer, that food machine. Guess what? Why do you hire it? Well, okay, you hired it to make the perfect pie, but you also hired it because you're a perfectionist. You hired it because you want your husband to really enjoy the pie and the pizza, correct? It's not only about the perfect pie because that's the functional aspect, but there's a social and emotional aspects, right? And so, and if you think about this, is like you said, at some point you got so frustrated, you're like, I gotta have this. I'm not gonna make another pizza. That's just not good. And it's there in the back of your head. And then you go through this negotiation process. Now we're ready to make a decision. Let's go ahead and do that. And then a whole bunch of food mixers and food machines apply to the job because you had this job opening, and they all apply and they all bring their resumes, and you say, you know what, okay, I'm not gonna, and they're all asking almost like, somebody's asking for $1,000, another is asking for 200, another for 500, and you say, you know what, for this position, this is the budget that I have, and this is the perfect, but I need to check the credentials, correct? It's almost like a job opening that you've had and different products applied to it, correct? And they're trying to fulfill that the functional emotional side of the job. And finally, you got the perfect mixer, and now you've hired it and you've made that pecan pie and you're happy. You see how different the jobs to be done interview? It's really not about the post-purchase, it's all about the emotional side of the pre-purchase. Because if you're able to figure those, then you're able to create that perfect experience for your customers, and you're able to really construct it in a way that just is very unique and very different than how typical marketers do, or how marketers typically do their interviews. I hope that you found this different and helpful, different style of interviews. Everyone, I promised to keep the webinar to 50 minutes. We did start about 5 minutes late. I'm going to give people, Katrina, thank you for participating. I really appreciate you taking the time to actually share your experience with us. That was very,
Thanks.
very helpful.
It was very interesting.
Awesome. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is, again, Katrina, thank you very much. What I'm going to do is I want to allow people a chance, if you have any particular questions that you might have, um, please go ahead and send them to me via the Q&A. I don't see any questions, but I'm giving people a chance. Again, this is how we typically conduct the process. Let's resume the share. How we conduct the process of the jobs to be done interviews. I'm going to just mention last thing, and again, like, if you have any particular questions that you want to ask, please send them my way. I want to mention about our conversion optimization masterclass. Now, we typically conduct the masterclass and conferences all across the world. We were actually scheduled to do it in Seattle in the SMX Advanced Conference, but of course that all got pushed back. I was supposed to be speaking also at Inbound. It's 150 lessons, about 60 videos that we've included that walks you through the process of actually running a conversion optimization project. It's the same process that our team conducts. You can access the class through bit.ly/CRO Academy. If you're interested in signing up for the class, do send me an email, do connect with me, because we'll give you a discount. We still have not officially released it publicly, so it's a very soft launch. So if you're interested in taking the class, send me a message so we can give you a discount code. I hope that you guys have found the process interesting and insightful. Thank you for participating. And until next time, take care and happy testing.